All right, so our first job is to create a table. So morning, afternoon, evening, pass, fail, total, and total. All right, so it says here that we have the results of 50 tests. I didn't do such a great job of that. 50 tests, so we know that it's going to be out of 50. So remember, we divide the number in the box by the total number. So 14 divided by 50 is 0.28. Then we're going to do 5 divided by 50, which is 0.1. That total was going to be 0.38, I'm sorry. All right, so for my afternoon, 10 divided by 50 is 0.2. Clear, I have 4 divided by 50 is 0.08. And 0.2 plus 0.08 is 0.28. For evening, I have 11 divided by 50, which is 0.22. I have 6 divided by 50. Oops, my calculator is going crazy on me here. It's 0.12, so that's 0.34. So my totals for the first column is 0.7, second column is 0.3, third column, of course, is always 1. So find the probability that a bottle was inspected in the afternoon and failed. So afternoon failed, 0.08 over the total for 0.3 failing, so that's roughly 0.27 or a 27%. All right, probability that the morning had passed is going to be 0.28 over 0.7. So in our calculator, 0.28 divided by 0.7 is 0.4, so 40% chance. All right, so for C, we're using conditional probability to determine which shift a bottle is most likely to pass the inspection. So we're going to do P for pass in morning. So conditional, we're going to do the 0.28 divided by 0.38, and that gives me a 74% chance if we round to the nearest whole number. For pass in the afternoon, that's going to be 0.2 over 0.28, which is roughly 71%. Lastly, pass in the evening. So that's going to be 0.22 over 0.34, which is roughly 0.65 or 65%. So it's most likely to pass in the morning. Again, conditional, we do the pass over the total on the right. All right, so let's turn this into a table here, and we can put total here and just make it, I'm going to change my color to Bill. All right, so let's first total up how many people we have in total. So we have 203 students in general when we add everything up. So 47 over 203 is 0.23. 38 over 203 is 0.19. 51 over 203 is 0.25. And lastly, 67 over 203 is 0.33. So when we total everything, this is going to be 0.48. This is going to be 0.52. And our total here obviously is always 1. 0.25 plus 0.33 is 0.58. And 0.23 plus 0.19 is 0.42. Okay. So, you are given that a student plays an instrument. What is the probability that the student also plays a sport? Rounded to the nearest hundredth. All right, so for this one, we're going to do plays a sport, which is the 0.23 over the total that play a sport, which is 0.42. So that's roughly 0.55 or 50, 0.5, what is it? Yeah, 55%. If you are given a student plays a sport, what is the probability that the student also plays an instrument? Round to the nearest hundredth. So for this one, we're going to do the 0.23 over the total who play instrument, which is 0.48, and we get 0.48, which is roughly 48%. All right, I like that whole method of just making this into your table. So we're going to stick with that. All right, so Roberto is the owner of a car dealership. He is assessing the success rate in order to offer one of the promotions. Over 2 months, for each attempted sale, he records whether the salesperson made a successful sale or not, as shown in the table provided. So let's add up all these numbers first and see how many people we're dealing with. Or how many sales, excuse me, we're dealing with. So we're dealing with 36 sales. So 6 over 36 is 0.17. That's going to be the same 0.17. 4 over 36 is 0.11. 5 over 36 is 0.14. 6 over 36, like we have before, is 0.17. 9 over 36 is 0.25. So let's add up our totals here. So 0.17 plus 0.17 plus 0.11. We're at 0.45 for this total. 0.17 plus 0.14 plus 0.25. We're at 0.56 for that. That makes a total of 1. 0.17 plus 0.25 makes 0.42. 0.11 is 0.25. And when we add together the 0.17 and 0.17, again, we're going to call that 0.33 because we rounded both of those so that we get to that total of 1. So find the probability that each salesperson will make a successful sale and make an unsuccessful sale. Round to the nearest hundredth. All right, so here we go, Becky. We'll go Becky in blue. So for successful, she's 0.17 over 0.33, which is about 51%. And she's going to be the same for unsuccessful. Again, we rounded, so you're going to see the discrepancy here. So for Raul, we're going to do successful, which is 0.11 over 0.25. So 0.11 divided by 0.25 is 44%. And unsuccessful is going to be 0.14 over 0.25. And we get 0.56. Yep, 56%. Then we have Daryl. So Daryl, and I can't spell, his successful is going to be 0.17 over 0.42. So 0.17 divided by 0.42 is about 40%. And his unsuccessful is going to be probably about 60%, 0.25 over 0.42. And that's 60%. Again, we're seeing the discrepancy with that first one because we rounded those numbers. So clearly we can see Becky has the highest success rate. Okay, so we have a deck of 52 cards. What's the probability of choosing a heart? So we're going to divide 52 by 4 because there are 4 suits. So we have 13 out of a 52 chance. So 13 divided by 52 is roughly a 25% chance. Same is going to happen with a club. It's going to be a 13 out of 52. There's equal amount of each suit in each. So a heart or a club, well, we're going to do that 13 over 52 and the 13 over 52 to be a 26 over 52. So that's 1/2, which is 50%. Heart, club, or diamond, well, heart is a 13 out of 52. Whoops, 15, silly me. Club is a 13 out of 52, and a diamond is a 13 out of 52. So 13 times 3 is 39 out of 52. And when we do the division there, we get a 75% chance. Numbers 1 through 9 are written on cards and placed in a bag. Find each probability, choosing a multiple of 3 or an even number. All right, so a multiple of 3, so let's just write our numbers. Okay, so a multiple of 3, well, 3, 6, and 9. So we have a 3 out of a 9 chance. Or an even number. So for my even numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. So plus 4 out of 9. Now notice one of those is used twice, 6. So we're going to subtract 1/9, and we get 6/9, which when we take out a 3 is a 2/3 chance, which is a 66% chance, or 67 if we round it. Right, let's switch colors here. All right, so choosing a multiple of 4 or an even number. All right, so let's do yellow for multiple of 4. Multiple of 4, 2, so 2 over 9, or an even number. We'll go black for this one. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's plus a 4 out of 9. Now how many of those are used twice? There are 2. So we have a 4 out of 9 chance, which is 44% chance. Choosing a multiple of 2 or an even number. So a multiple of 2 would be 2, 4, 6, or 8. 1, 2, 3. So that's a 4 out of 9. Or an even number. That's all of So 4 out of 9, 44% chance. Okay. Of 570 people, 365 were male, 368 had brown hair. Of those with brown hair, 108 were female. What is the probability that a person was male or had brown hair? So the probability of male is 365 over 570 plus brown hair, so 368 over 570. Now we have to subtract the double ups. So of those with brown hair, 108 were female. So 368 minus 108, 260. So we minus the 260 over 57 for the repeats, and that should give us 473 over 570. So when I do that and round it, it's about 83%. Of 3,510 drivers, 1,950 were male and 130 were colorblind. Only 6 of the colorblind drivers were female. What is the probability that the driver was male or colorblind? So male is 1,950 over 3,510. Colorblind was 103 over 3,510. Minus the double ups, so that means we're subtracting the 97 that we used twice of the males. So there we get 1950 plus 103 minus 97, 1956 over 3510. Divide that out, and that percentage is a 56%, 0.56 or 56%. Each of 4 students randomly selects a pen from 9 styles. What is the probability that at least 2 students will pick the same style? All right, so for this we're going to use the complement. So let's go ahead and find that at least 2 students choosing the same. So we're going to do 9 NPR, 4 over 9 to the 4th power. So in my calculator, 9 NPR, I have to get there on this graphing one. 9, so that top number is 3024 over 9 to the 4th power is 6561. So 3024 divided by 6561 is a 0.46. So that's just that number. So now we're going to do 1 minus 0.46, and we get 0.54. So a 54% chance. All right, so if there are 5 students in a book club, each randomly chooses a book of 10 titles. All right, so the reason why this is a permutation is because it's the same book. So this is 10 NPR 5 over 10 to the 5th power. So 10 NPR 5. Top number is 30,240 over, we know 10 to the 5th power, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that's 0.30. So 1 minus 0.30 is approximately 0.7. So a 70% chance of that happening.